It was actually my nephew came up with that. He goes, "Oh, you're doing a reboot." I was like, I'm going to use that.
Welcome to Stuck in Vermont, brought to you by 7 Days and sponsored by Hotel Vermont and Vermont Tourism. My name is Ava Solberger. We are here in downtown Burlington at Danform Shoes, and I'm here for the ULU Reboots. When did these ULUs get here?
About half an hour.
Cabbage Patch Kid craze right here, and Tickle Me Elmo for adult boots.
These are my old ULU boots. I bought them in 2008. I've been wanting to buy new ones, and I couldn't.
I was shoe gluing mine back, and I said, I think it's time to start this thing again. I need a new pair.
So how long have ULUs not been around, Scott? 8 years. 8 years?
People have been calling.
Yeah.
Heather, are my boots in yet?
Yeah.
Heather, where, are the ULUs in yet? Are they in yet? Are they in yet?
Yeah.
Heather, my wife who is the manager here, said, oh my gosh, ULU is coming back. And it was this big, big thing.
Danform released that and he tagged me on Facebook and was like, Suze, look at this. And then I tagged Ava and Kelly and Christina. Brennan sent an email saying ULUs are back and we were all so excited. Yay for Danform for bringing them back.
Danform's the exclusive retailer of ULU for this season.
We allowed customers to make a reservation for these because we knew they were going to be hot.
This is the boot that you want if you're going to be, spending the winter in Burlington.
And that's one of the things I really liked was the fact that it was a Vermont company and sold here at a Vermont retailer.
I just bought a pair of ULUs after many years of not being able to find them.
It's inspired from the sort of the circumpolar region of the world. So, double-bladed ULU knife.
It's a knife. It's in the U. Really is the shape of it almost right there.
An everyday tool that had a lot more meaning than just a knife. In 2002, we were trying to diversify out of winter footwear. And then we had one of our reps, a guy named Paul Cartwright, had his bag stolen. So then he borrowed my sample bag, which ended up having these shearling ones, which were prototypes. So this is like pre-UGG. And he called up and he goes, "You got to make that shearling one. That's what everyone wants."
Definitely was working here in the heyday of ULU. I had 2 pairs myself.
I had some passion about the brand just because it was a local company. Scott would come into the store and ask for feedback.
We started ULU kind of as a sideline business to Neos Overshoes, and then Neos Overshoes got sold because someone made an offer he couldn't refuse. Called up Chaco. He said, "Chaco, can we buy you?" And it was sort of like, "Well, you guys are way bigger than we thought." So then they said, "Well, why don't we buy you?" And then fast forward a couple more years, banking crisis, credit crunch, Chaco had to sell. So they sold to Wolverine World Wide, which is part of the Merrill, and how many, 30 brands or something like that now? They said, "Well, here's this little brand ULU. What does it really mean? Let's put it in a drawer."
Every year, every winter, I deal with customers coming in and I need to replace my ULUs.
Like devastated, my dog chewed my ULUs. Like, what am I going to do?
I was just so bummed when I found out that they weren't even making them anymore.
It's sad. Like, you spend 4 years developing a brand and it doesn't exist anymore.
He bought it back.
After you sold it.
He does this all the time.
In June, I said, "Okay, let's do this." We had the deal done in August, and now it's December 4th, and we've got product on the shelf. But I haven't been sleeping a lot. Trip to Vietnam, trip to the warehouse in California.
I was down here working the floor, and some girl came in, and she had on a pair of ULUs, and she goes, "Do you have these anymore?" And I'm like, "No, I'm sure that they'll probably come back out." I was like, because Scott Hardy has bought and sold his companies a couple times over and reinvents them.
If you know something and you see an opportunity, I always say it's kind of easier to do something the second time than it is in the first anyway. People are passionate. I mean, I don't want to see it go away again.
My ULUs are loved. They're 10 years old, and originally I didn't have a good quality pair of winter boots.
And this is a guy who doesn't buy shoes.
And I've been able to use them for snowshoeing and birding and hiking.
Sledding with the kids, cutting down the Christmas tree.
And they're made for Vermont.
Look how strong it is. It's like you're not going to slip. 10 years.
I mean, that's a serious bottom.
When they were announced that they were coming back, the first thing I did was talk to Suzanne and said, ULUs are coming back, because that was what united Suzanne and I.
When he first started working at the Flint, he noticed my ULUs, and I just couldn't even believe. I couldn't believe a man was noticing shoes.
And I said, "You have great boots." And I said, "I have ULUs too."
I bought mine 9 years ago at the Alpine Shop. And they're the best boots that I've ever had. I love that they can slip on and you don't have to tie them. For me, it was that they were both cute and cozy.
So I do a lot of shoots outside in very cold temperatures. These are the only shoes that will keep my feet warm for extended periods of time.
It's one of the winter boots that we carry that has an excellent arch support in it.
They're like snow tires for your feet. My feet never got wet. My feet were always warm. They're super comfortable.
What's it like when you see people wearing your boots?
I'm somewhat modest. I don't tell them that it's my company. I will ask, like, oh, you know, how do you like your ULUs? It's just great to hear the stories.
I think there's a bit more passion that goes into stuff that's produced locally or in Vermont.
I'm gonna go downstairs and look for your boots.
Yeah. Oh, they're so gorgeous.
I definitely feel good about it, knowing that I'm supporting local and love that Vermont has the greatest stuff.
Danform Shoes, we've been around since 1978. We're locally owned, family run.
Take them for a bit of a spin.
Ooh.
I just bought my first pair of ULUs in 9 years.
Right there. You're good.
Look, it's my old ULUs and my new ULUs. So here is my brand new pair of ULU boots. It's gonna be a sweet winter. We'll get stuck in Vermont with you again real soon. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and sign up for our weekly email newsletters. I don't play by the rules. Okay. So the 10s fit exactly.
Let me just apologize
The
for him.
film becomes the filmer. Basically doing an ULU ad right now.
Yeah. I've never owned a pair of ULUs in my life.
It's lucky I edit well, you guys.
I was thinking that. She's like,
I edit well.